Hey friends, welcome back to another adventure. I'm Dustin with Dusty Outdoors, and in this adventure, we're back at Camp Freedom. I had to get that fire going right away because I got a pretty cool meal planned. Lauren introduced me to this meal last week, and I'd never had it before, and it blew my mind. So we're gonna try to make it over the fire tonight. Hopefully it turns out. Either way, I'm putting the recipe in the directions because, friends, it's so good. It's so good. Got to get a good bed of coals though. We've definitely gotten some snow here at Camp Freedom since the last time I was here. All right, friends. So what we're going to be making tonight is a spaghetti squash bake. Oh, we better take that off. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is get the spaghetti squash ready. We're going to do one more layer. This is pretty thin stuff. This will be a garlic Parmesan spaghetti squash bake. But first things first, we got to get this spaghetti squash prepped and ready. The fire's a little too big right now for it, but so this is just some olive oil here. You don't have to do the outside because you normally do it in the oven upside down like this, but since I'm wrapping it in tin foil, I'm doing the outside as well. I need to get a tripod, friends, for over the fire. I think I'll have one soon. I think I might actually even do another layer. I think what we'll do is we'll get the cast iron warming up first. I don't know, friends, we'll see. Maybe it'll be too hot. Like I said, I really need a tripod, and I should have one here, hopefully before the next video. Well, friends, we're going to give this burner a try again. All right, so we got cream cheese. We got shredded Parmesan. We got heavy whipping cream. These were all pre-measured out. Salt and pepper. Minced garlic. I'll put the recipe in the description below. Now all my measurements are cut in half because my recipe is only half. That ain't good. I might have to hold this pot. So we're just going to put just a little bit of that in there. Then we're going to put our minced garlic in there. You're going to want to cook the garlic a little bit in the pan before you add everything else. Okay, now we're going to put the cheese in to melt. Heavy whipping cream in as well. Now we're going to get that up to a simmer. And I'll throw the salt and pepper in as well. Now the only thing left that we have to add after it warms up is the Parmesan. Shredded Parmesan. I mean, it's like 20 degrees out, friends, and this thing's still, this butane. Man, I'm not a fan of butane. I don't know how you guys do it with those butane heaters. Okay, so we're going to put all this in, except for, we're going to leave a pinch left. Yeah, we're going to leave that left in there for later. Oh, that smells good. I can barely get this hot enough to melt the Parmesan, friends. Well, let's take it over to the fire real quick. So we will leave this on over here though, just to keep it warm at least. That'll be perfect for that. So we'll keep that simmering. The spaghetti squash has been on for about 25 minutes. We'll wait for maybe another 5 minutes or so and we'll check on that. Let's check on this spaghetti squash. All right, the bottom got a little right where it was sitting. So I was going to grab a trivet too to bring out here and I didn't. But this is still edible here. Oh man, friends, that's just shredding right up. I think I got to take it out. Oh man, look at that, friends. So now we're going to put our stuff on it, mix it in, and then put it back in there for a little bit. Okay, let's get that down in there. We want our sauce to go all the way down to the bottom. Oh yeah, that's going to be so good. My mouth's watering. I almost just drooled, friends. Now I got an idea for that. I'm going to go put that lid right in the hottest part of the fire and get it super hot. And then when I put it back on, hopefully it'll be kind of like a fry that top a little bit. Brown it up, if you know what I mean. All right, let's go ahead and put that lid back on. That should be warm enough now. If I had a little metal shovel, I'd put some coals on it, but I don't. Oh yeah, that's working. I'm gonna do one more attempted broil, I think. Oh man. That looks so good. Oh, friends. Look at that. Making sure I'm getting all the noodles mixed in. I say noodles, it's spaghetti squash, but oh yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness, that's good. So hot though, I gotta let that cool down. So friends, this is a recipe that Lauren uses, and it's for the oven. So normally you'd bake the spaghetti squash at 400 degrees for 40 minutes, I believe. Again, it's gonna be in the description. But I thought I'd try it on the fire, and man, it turned out perfect. Now, the recipe I'm putting in the description is for a whole spaghetti squash, both halves. So all of my ingredients were half measurements because I only had half the spaghetti squash. But I'm gonna run in, get some salt and pepper, and then, oh man, this is awesome. This is again garlic parmesan. Got woodpeckers in the background, sitting out in nature in the middle of winter. It really doesn't get any better. Now it's like perfect eating temperature. You know what, this meal really warms you up too. You know, as far as an alternative noodle, which I'm not on any diet that requires an alternative to a noodle, an actual normal noodle, but I've tried the zucchini noodles. Nah, they don't hold a candle to spaghetti squash, using spaghetti squash as a noodle. Last bite right here, friends. If I did this again, I'd probably add a touch more garlic. Well, I was going to throw this in the fire, but I think I might throw it out in the woods for the critters. Oh, this is nice, friends. I will say the one thing that I miss in the winter when I'm out here is just the energy in the woods. There's still a good energy out here, but there's not all the rustling and hustling, the rustle and bustle of the little critters, squirrels. There's the woods are just more full of life and sound during the spring, summer, and fall, especially the spring. Guys, spring is just around the corner, and man, am I looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the mud, but I'm looking forward to spring. The one thing I look forward to most of all every spring is the sound of the spring peepers. Oh, how I missed that sound. Another thing I was going to bring up, friends, is I posted a video last Thursday. It has a couple really good hikes in it. Some really pretty views. And I'm not sure why. Something in the YouTube algorithm did not like that video. Either that or something in the thumbnail y'all didn't like. But for whatever reason, it's getting not even half the views of my normal videos, of the rest of my videos. I'm not really sure the reason why. And if that's how it is, that's how it is. But I do feel like if y'all are watching this and you've watched my other videos and you like them, that you'd really like that one. So I would highly recommend going back. If you haven't seen my last video, The thumbnail says truck camping, and then at the bottom it says 400 million years old. And it's just a really cool video. I had a lot of fun out on that adventure. So if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. I'll put a link at the end of the video that you can just click on if you'd like to watch that. Fire's not doing too great, friends. But as you can see, my firewood continues to get snowed on, and then it gets warm out. Then the sun will hit it during the day and kind of start melting it into it. So there we go. Well, I'd like to think that I'm getting the cast iron Dutch oven figured out. You go back to the first time I used it on the channel, it was with the baked potatoes. I had found a recipe online for Dutch oven baked potatoes, and it didn't call for wrapping them in tin foil. In hindsight, I should have wrapped them in tin foil. A lot of you commented that, and it's like, yeah, I should have. Anyhow, for those of you that saw that, oofta, they were done. I'll say that. Coincidentally, that was actually the last video that Nigel, my dog, was able to make it onto as well. I sure do miss him. But anyways, so it was the baked potatoes, which was a total fail. I was able to eat some off of the inside that didn't get burnt, but that was pretty bad. And then we redeemed ourselves the next time we used it, which was right here at Camp Freedom a few videos back. We made that 30-minute chili. Super easy. And that was really good too. Let me know if any of you actually tried that. I mean, what you can add to that recipe is limitless. And now the third time we've used it on the channel was the garlic Parmesan spaghetti squash bake. And I'll be honest, that's been my favorite and funnest. That's been the most fun and my favorite thing to make in the Dutch oven thus far. I think next time we're out at Camp Freedom, we'll try to make something to put firewood in to keep it out of the elements. I'll look around home too to see if I can repurpose anything, but I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head back home. But as you heard earlier, so cool. We got at least a pair. I think there's definitely a few pairs of pileated woodpeckers. They gotta live here because I see them all the time. Now, if you don't know what a pileated woodpecker is, they're giant. They're like that tall, and they're just absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if they're endangered or maybe really close to the endangered list. I'm not sure. I should look that up. At the very least, I think, I could be wrong about this because I see them here all the time, but I think they're actually a pretty rare woodpecker to see anymore. They used to be a lot more abundant, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys always definitely take the opportunity to do that when you can, which I love. Let me know any facts you got about the pileated woodpecker. We see them here all the time. If you're just out walking around, you can catch glimpses of them, but really you just gotta sit here. Just sit and absorb nature and just be looking, and you see them. Oh yeah, another thing I was gonna bring up to y'all was I'm actually gonna put a trail camera maybe tomorrow, so it won't be on this video, but I'm gonna put a trail camera up on one of these trees facing right here, right in the middle of Camp Freedom. So fire pit and everything will be within frame. I want to see what kind of animals are moving through here and what kind of activity there is when all of us ain't here at Camp Freedom. And then that way I can put a little segment in each Camp Freedom video showing what other creatures enjoy Camp Freedom while we're gone. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you think that's a good idea or really if you could care less. I think that would be fun. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this fire. We'll see you inside. Turn off my yard light out here, patio light, whatever you want to call it. That was a wonderful evening outside. Temperatures aren't too bad. What's it say? Yeah, 24 outside, 49 in the camper. Camper still needs more work, friends. I got little access doors down on each side of the floor, which you can open and get, like, reach into the side of your truck bed. And the seals on those are bad, so it's not necessarily letting tons of cold air in, but it certainly ain't helping. Well, as you can see, running the camper lights off the Blue Eddy there through the 110. Got it plugged into AC there. And then that just goes in and plugs into that adapter right there. My pad, friends, that I put in here isn't working. So I don't know if the pad's broke or what, but it's definitely not turning on, and it definitely has power to it. So I don't know if it's just not getting cold enough in there to turn it on, but it is still getting cold enough in there to make it so my Blue Eddy doesn't want to take charge. So I think I might have to change up the pad. See if I can get a slightly smaller pad that maybe turns on at a warmer temperature. I like to open up my sleeping bag when I get in here to let the warm air in. Otherwise, the sleeping bag does a good job on actually keeping the cold air in when it's been sitting in here a while. Probably call Lauren, talk to her for a little bit, and then hit the hay. And we will see you all in the morning. Good night, friends. Good morning, friends. Just got my morning cup of coffee brewed. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy that. It's currently actually pretty warm outside. 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside and 70 degrees in the camper. Once I'm done with my coffee here, we'll hike over to a little spot a little bit out past Camp Freedom here, and I'll show you guys that spot. It's kind of I've always kind of liked it. Got good views from it. Just kind of a neat spot in the woods. And eventually, we'll probably do some camping there. We'll see outside here in a bit. All right, friends, we're heading north. We're starting our little hike here to this other area I'd like to show you. It's like 30 degrees. Woodpeckers are out again. I don't know if my mic that I wear on my chest will pick that up because it's noise canceling outside of my voice, but there's a couple of them going for sure. So we were on this trail that goes up this way, but now we're going to go down this one. Goes down, drops down over the edge here. As you can see, way over there is the truck camper. Okay, so truck's way up on top of that ridge down that way. We're still heading north. We got to head up over that knoll down into the next holler, and then you can kind of see the hill over there. We got to go to the top of that hill over there. We're heading over there. As I'm walking through the woods, I'm starting to it's a little early yet, but I'm starting to look for like shed antlers. I definitely think it's a little bit too early, but it never hurts to start looking. That's quite a big tree right there. Walnut tree. Okay, so we just walked down through that little holler there. Got a little ways yet to go. Woods is a little thick right here. I'm watching out for these things. If any of y'all have ever messed around with those plants or got those stuck to you, let me know in the comments. They straight up don't come out of certain material. Certain materials you just gotta throw away, basically. You know what, I don't remember those as a kid. I used to play in the woods all the time as a kid. I don't remember those plants getting stuck to me. I remember burdocks. Some people call them cockaburs. Not those little round ones that get stuck everywhere. They're really prolific now though. All right, so right there's kind of the area that I'm going to. As you can see, it has a great view down into a big old holler. Over here we got still uphill, so but I'll keep this going so you can, as we walk up to it, you can see this holler. So I guess I've always called this Rocky Point. The reason being is it's the only place on our property that I know of, and I've explored pretty much all of our property, that just has some random boulders, big old boulders laying here. For example, there's one right there. There's a big one. There's one. But I think with a little TLC right out in here, this would be a great camping spot. Plenty of trees in here to hang a hammock. You know, right back in there would be a good spot for a tent if a guy needed to. So here's a closer look at this rock. I'll show you this rock and then I'll go over and show you those rocks. So there's definitely some rock too that you can't really see that's covered with snow right now. Like that knob is basically a rock, which is why it's a knob and not a valley. So you can see there, that's all rock. That's rock. Underneath there, that's solid rock, kind of going up. This is the biggest rock. And I do wish I was a little smarter about like geology and stuff, because I think a lot of the times when you have rocks kind of randomly placed or dropped, sitting kind of like, I don't know, sitting like these, generally it's glacial deposits. It's a glacier deposited rock, but the glaciers never came through here. That is why the area I live in is called the driftless area, is because the glaciers never came through here. And when glaciers go through somewhere, an area, they leave behind what they call glacial drift. It's a layer of basically a bunch of stuff the glaciers deposited in our soil. And there's no drift here, none. So out of the 3 main ice ages, or however many there was, the glaciers always went around the area that I live in, called the driftless area. Now all of us people that live here in the driftless area, that's just normal life for us. And our topography and all the stuff is everyday stuff for us. But I do know that many people that come to the driftless area think it's absolutely beautiful, and there is actually a pretty decent push on a larger scale to protect the driftless area. Some even want to go as far as to make it a national park. But because the topography is so different in the driftless area, we actually have some species of plants and animals here that nowhere else in the world has. There's certain species of snake. I think we have a some sort of rattlesnake, some type of rattlesnake that's only found in the driftless area. Tons of different plants that are only found in the driftless area, and that is because of the topography and the ground and stuff, due to the fact the glaciers never came through here. That looks like a nice little hiding spot underneath that rock for some little critter. Judging by the snow, nothing lives under it, but because there's no tracks going in it. Now if I zoom in way over there, you can kind of see that dark line. That's actually a rock shelf. So horizontally, that's like a little cliff. Probably like, it ranges between, I don't know, 4 to 8 to 10 feet at its deepest, a little cliff drop off and then hill again. Let me know in the comments what you think about this rocky point. Be like a good hike to camp spot from Camp Freedom. It's maybe 1/8 to a 1/4 mile walk, not super far. You just can't get the truck to here. So as I pan around out there, friends, you know, there's trees of all different sizes, but the average tree, kind of like that one, range between 1.5 feet and 2 feet diameter. That's kind of the average size for the trees out here. But then check this behemoth out. I mean, that thing's just towering above everything else down there. The base of that thing's got to be 4 foot. Actually, now that I moved and can see more of the base of that tree, I bet it's more like 6 foot in diameter at the base. Got red-tailed hawk screeching somewhere over in this direction. That's what it was. I have no clue if the camera's picking that up, but definitely a red-tailed hawk. Of course, the hawk was much closer when it took off from the tree, but couldn't get my phone out fast enough. So kind of hard to tell on camera. That's actually a sinkhole right there. It actually normally stays, has a little water in it all summer. Good spot for the critters to get a drink and stuff. Well, friends, we made it back to the truck camper. That was a nice hike. Let me know in the comments what you think about that rocky point spot for some future camping. It'd be getting out of the truck camper and into something a little more rustic, I'd say. Whether it be a tent or hammock camping, anything like that. Let me know in the comments what you thought about that amazing meal I made last night. Man, that was good. Give it a try and let me know in the comments what you think. Again, I'll put the recipe down in the description. That's going to do her for this adventure. As always, to the military men and women, thank you for your service. Thank you for my freedom. And we'll see you in the next adventure. Bye, friends.